News, politics, entertainment, and more. Welcome to The Informant. Independent talk, pursuing truth, informing everyone. Now, here is The Informant, Eric Thompson.
Hey, good evening to you, and good morning to those of you out on the East Coast. This is Eric Thompson with The Informant. This is just a kind of a news break, real short little this thing I wanted to put up here on Spreaker. So if you want to get a hold of me, you can always go to my Spreaker account, The Informant, or you can go over to the-informant.com or other social media platforms. But I think a very huge weekend for our country. So if you were a little bit older, I was being born during the collapse of Nixon, so I didn't see that. But what happened is, if you have been under a rock, is that the Russian hoax is over. So Mueller and his team, they're packing up, and he sent over the file over to Attorney General Barr on Friday, and Attorney General Barr went through, and I think relatively quickly, he released the report, the highlights. And here's an article from Fox. Mueller Report summary is released. Now, if you're a leftist, this was supposed to be the end of the Trump administration. This would be the lead us into the impeachment process through the House. But you could kind of tell starting Friday when I know there was some leaking going on. You have Rachel Crazy Cow over there, MSNBC, basically almost weeping that it didn't look like President Trump was going to get indicted because it said no more indictments coming. CNN all weekend, it's been, there could be some sealed indictments and we don't know. So let's not, it's kind of like, It's a fourth quarter, you're down by 28 points, and there's 1 minute to go. Well, you never know. But Mueller Report summaries released showing zero proof Trump team conspired with Russia. So let me see if this little video will play out real quick.
The ultimate destination.
Well, it's going to go with we're going to silence this while it's doing this. Okay. We're going to play a little video here. It's from Fox. They're running a commercial, but to me, this is from Greg Ray, but it's just huge. And that's why I want you guys. So here we go. Here is Fox News.
We have just gotten a bombshell.
Amazing.
A letter from the Attorney General of the United States, William Barr, to the Democratic and Republican leaders of the House and Senate Judiciary Committees. The whole world was waiting for what this was going to say. It's not the entire report from Bob Mueller. It is roughly 7 or 8 pages.
But it answers the question that most people in America wanted to know. Was there collusion or not? And the answer is no. And definitively no.
No collusion between the Russian government and President Trump or any of his campaign associates. And perhaps just as important, this letter spells out that the president did not commit obstruction of justice, according to the Attorney General of the United States, William Barr. We are obviously going to be all over this story all evening and into the next week as the fallout continues. We first, though, right now want to go to an important guest, Ty Cobb, who, as you know, at the beginning of the Mueller investigation served as a special lawyer, counsel inside the White House, helping President Trump deal with all this. Ty, we appreciate you joining us live.
Good to be with you all.
Ty, I just want to go right to it. What is your initial reaction to this letter from the Attorney General?
Ed, as you know from some of our conversations, this is consistent with what I anticipated. That Mueller would do a very extensive and detailed job, that he would do it honorably and thoroughly, which clearly.
Okay, so not to go through the whole thing, but this was right after it broke that Mueller had released, sent over the PDF and all the information over to Attorney General Barr. That was a Ty Cobb. Ty Cobb was one of the initial main attorneys for President Trump when all this started. So this article basically says Attorney General William Barr on Sunday because this was from Friday, the little audio part you just heard. But he released the, quote, principal conclusions, unquote, of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's completed Russian probe in a bombshell 4-page letter to Capitol Hill lawmakers, which stated definitely that Mueller did not establish evidence that President Trump's team or any of his associates of the Trump campaign had conspired with Russia to sway the 2016 election, quote, despite multiple offers from Russia-affiliated individuals to assist the Trump campaign, unquote. So in spite of the attempt of the Russian-affiliated people, the Trump team did not get pulled into the mud. For Trump, who has tweeted more than 230 times that he did not collude with Russians amid a torrent of allegations from media and political figures, the moment amounted to a near total vindication. Although Mueller noted that his report did not exonerate Trump on obstruction, Barr wrote, quote, report does not recommend any further indictments, nor did the special counsel obtain any sealed indictments that have yet to be made public. No collusion, no obstruction, complete and total exoneration, President Trump tweeted right after that. Keep America great. So I wanted to just make sure that you heard it, that President Trump was kind of quiet for a couple of days, but he now came out saying no collusion, no obstruction, complete and total exoneration. The left is collapsing. They're falling apart. They're crying. They're like, well, because remember, they were hoping for maybe there's some sealed indictments. Well, no. Attorney General Barr just came out and said there's no sealed indictments that have yet to be made, and that there is no one else is going to be brought up on charges, at least through this investigation. Now, what's exciting about this is then President Trump, now it's like, well, let's see, the Trump team, this is another article, this is from 7 hours ago, Trump team turns tables after Mueller report, calls for investigation into the probe's origin. Woo! Let the fun begin. This from Fox News, and this was from Andrew O'Reilly. President Trump and his legal team declared total victory Sunday following the release of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's key findings, including no evidence of collusion with Russia during the 2016 campaign, but sought to turn tables by renewing calls to investigate the investigators. Trump himself slammed the probe as, quote, illegal takedown, as he called Mueller's report a complete exoneration, and said it was a shame his presidency had to deal with the investigation for 2 years. Quote, hopefully somebody is going to look at the other side, unquote, Trump said. Quote, this was an illegal takedown, I call it a coup, that failed, and hopefully somebody is going to be looking at the other side. Now, I had tweeted this. If you want to get a hold of me on Twitter, it's at Informant Show. But there was somebody had a meme up from the memorymuseum.net, and it's Napoleon. And it said, he said, never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. By President Trump not stopping the special prosecutor's efforts, not firing other people during the process. Comey had to go early because he was a dirty dog, but he didn't get rid of Rosenstein. He just let the deep state make this big mistake. And I think it is, and I think you're going to see it play out. Because Giuliani was one of President Trump's attorneys. He said, it said here, in case it wasn't clear what he meant, Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, told Fox News an investigation should be launched and how the investigation began. Quote, he was being investigated for a crime that never happened, Giuliani said. There was never any collusion. Now, of course, Adam Schiff and all of the lefts are like, well, we got to keep looking because, blah, 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 blah. Here is the problem the left has now. Everybody knows that the dossier was fake. And the report that came out from Special Counsel Robert Mueller and then the summary by Attorney General Barr basically says there is nothing, there has been nothing in this Russian collusion investigation. So 2-3 years ago, when McCabe and all of them, when they were trying to put this together, and then the fake dossier, what evidence were they looking at to try to substantiate or justify this investigation? One thing and one thing only: a fake dossier put together by Christopher Steele as getting paid for by the Coup law firm to Fusion GPS. The whole thing. Clintons paid a law firm to hire Fusion GPS to hire a a British spy to connect, which we come to find out now, he didn't even really connect with some bad guys in Russia. He basically just went online and go, oh, there's an interesting article, I'll put that in the dossier. Oh, that's interesting, I'll put that in the dossier. He even said under testimony that, well, I can't even substantiate what I turned in. It's just research, op research. So now that this is done, $20 million and thousands of subpoenas, now it's a good time to say, this was really crazy, and since there was nothing to it, let's look backwards and say, wait a minute, and was that campaign finance violations, Clinton campaign, as you're buying a fake op research on President Trump, but you're funneling the money through a law firm so it's undetectable? And by the way, Hillary, what happened with that email server again, and you deleting them and the cell phones getting destroyed? This is a big moment in U.S. history, and it may seem like it may not seem like it to you right now, but I think it is. If you go on Drudge, it's got perfect right in the middle. Everything is highlighted right there, Drudge Report, so hundreds of millions of people will see it. But this is what it said: Trump wins, no collusion, no obstruction, no proof of crimes, bar text. Nadler says, oh, it's not over. Maxine meltdown, media rocked, full findings still secret. So, hey, I just want to give you a quick update. You're listening to The Informant here on Spreaker. You go over to the website, the-informant.com, if you want to get more information. And I'm going to finish up here in a second. This is just a quick one. Looking at this is President Trump's tweet from 10 hours ago. No collusion, no obstruction, complete and total exoneration. Keep America great. I think we're going to look back at this and say, huge coup attempt. And I really believe President Trump is the only one that could have weathered this. I really do. Massive, massive onslaught. Every deep state nasty person working even before this, back to 2015, Peter Strzok's text said they were trying to figure out who to put into the FBI, who to plant. So, to finish up here, Mueller turns his report in Friday. Attorney General Barr gets it. He puts out he has to put out his summary as they're going through more information, because he said he would get something that's called principal conclusions. Attorney General William Barr today released the principal conclusions of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's completed Russian probe in a 4-page letter made to Capitol lawmakers. You can see it online. And he said, despite multiple offers from Russia-affiliated individuals to assist the Trump campaign, they resisted. No collusion. And President Trump's team says, well, then we think that President Trump should then make sure that the Attorney General and everybody starts looking backwards. So if we can go backwards and clean this up, if we can fix the education system so it quits putting out Marxists, and fix immigration and deport people, then we have a chance to balance the budget and make America great again. So it's late, but I want to make sure I get this up. So the headline again is that President Trump has been fully exonerated, and there is some stupid pursuits that the New York courts are doing, but the